Welcome back to Great Day. Some sitcoms are so good, even when they end, they continue to air in reruns years later. A whole new generation gets to enjoy them, and for others, it's nostalgic to watch them again. The Golden Girls is a sitcom of 4 older women living in Miami. When season 1 aired in 1985, no one thought it would be a hit, but as we all know, it became one of the most beloved TV shows of all time. Stan Zimmerman was on the writing team, and that was only the beginning of his career. He wrote a book called The Girls from Golden to Gilmore. Stan shares personal journal entries of working in the industry and what it was like to work with some of the most iconic women in television, from Bea Arthur, Betty White, and Roseanne to Alexis Bledel and Lauren Graham.
Now, you're always a bit ornery, unpleasant, impolite, even downright mean. That's part of your charm.
Thank you, you bed-hopping relic.
I told her to be home by supper.
You let her go? She's grounded, Dan.
She is?
Yeah.
Well, I guess I've been naughty.
We can't egg his car.
Sure we can.
Josie's is closed and we don't have any eggs at home. You want to devil egg Jess's car? Let's do it.
Stan, you grew up in Southfield, Michigan, a small suburb of Detroit, but you knew early on you wanted to be in show business, to the point where you defined it as, I want to be an actor and I want to be rich enough to own a mansion in the Hollywood Hills. What was it about the industry that attracted you at such an early age?
The glamour. I just loved creating. I was not a big reader, so I didn't think I could be a writer, but I always had these really wild ideas and ideas for TV shows, and I was obsessed with TV, and of course Lily Tomlin came from Detroit, so I got hooked on Laugh-In watching her.
Yeah, you as a child, your imagination was your toy of choice while other kids were outside playing. You played inside your basement. You had a whole studio network. You had it all going on and corralled other kids to play along.
I would make up plays and I would pull them into it, and then we presented them at school, and the teacher saw the plays and she thought that I had a lot of potential, and then she called my mother and said I should go to Cranbrook Theater School, and that was kind of my path into this crazy industry.
Yeah, but you were always working on it, and so it's interesting because sometimes people have a passion and they abandon it. You stayed with it. You applied to the University of Michigan because that was the family tradition, but you always wanted to go to NYU. We know that for acting and film. That's a great school. You ended up there, and then you met someone named James Berg, and the rest is history on that one.
Yeah, we just met through friends on the street. We make each other laugh, and then we both had this passion for television, and we said, why don't we write a TV pilot? I don't know what we were thinking. We were still in college, and so in between classes and after-school jobs, we started writing TV pilots, and luckily one got noticed in Los Angeles, and so we made a little trip out there, and they encouraged us to move out there.
Yeah, just our luck. And then you ended up writing this book, The Girls from Golden to Gilmore. Why did you decide to write the book now? There it is.
There it is. I had this idea for years, and then I came up with the title, and I love a good alliteration, a lot of G's in there, and I got lucky to write for both girls shows. I wish I had written for Lena Dunham and her girls show. That would have been the trifecta. But I happened to mention it at the Golden Girls Fan Festival, and everybody thought it was a great idea, so they became my accountability coaches.
Move it.
We're gonna miss our plane. What are we gonna do? Listen, girls, I have an idea. Now, I'm gonna create a diversion by bending over and picking up something seductively. Then the two of you sneak up behind him and give him a karate chop.
Blanche, what do we look like? Charlie's Angels?
All right, so in honor of the Golden Girls book, let me stand up and see if you can see this. I'm wearing, there you go. We're going to make this stand for Golden Girls.
Okay,
the
great,
GG there.
Perfect. But I want to see you in a Bea Arthur outfit for Halloween.
I had one.
That.
We were talking earlier about the power of TV. I remember when the Golden Girls came out. First of all, it was such a great, funny show, but it also has a warm place in many people's heart. I remember my mom said, Bea Arthur's wearing these long vests. We have to go get one. So my sister and I, my mom, went to Sears and we got ourselves the long Bea Arthur vest. But the irony of this, and we see this oftentimes in a lot of the most successful shows, is that they really didn't think this was going to last very long at first, did they?
Well, you have to remember way back when I was a mere child, and the conventional wisdom that a show about older people and women would never be a big popular show. So they kind of put it on Saturday night. But when you saw that cast, and it was so funny, and it just caught on. It's called, lightning in a bottle. You just don't know when that's going to happen. And it happened with that show. And then it suddenly became this phenomenon. And being there in season 1, we got to see it go from being, number 25 in the ratings to number 1. And we were all just so thrilled to be a part of that ride.
And it still airs today. I told you earlier, it was during my dad's funeral that my niece said she always knew it was, when they were babysitting, she always knew it was time to go to bed when she heard, "Thank you for being a friend." She goes, "Oh, it's bedtime, Grandma." You actually formed, when you write for somebody like that and you're on the set like that and there's those intense hours and all, you actually form friendships with the people you're writing for.
Yes, I luckily got friendly with Estelle Getty offset, and I just adored her. And she kind of took us under her wing that very first season, and she became like a Jewish mother to me. And so I just really cherish those phone calls when I remember them. She'd ask about what job are you working on now, and who you're dating, what are you eating, are you getting enough exercise? And she was just a really, really special person, and very, very sad to lose her. And I've often thought about writing a one-woman show about her.
Oh, that would be fantastic. But what's the beauty of and the miracle of television is that we lost her, but we didn't lose her because, like I said, that show is still running. But there are other times you'd spend time with somebody and it's the opposite relationship. Roseanne was a tough one.
I mean, ever since we moved in here, I've just felt like a burden, especially seeing how much Dad hates having Mark around.
Oh, Becky, you're no burden.
What about Dad hating Mark?
What makes you feel like you're a burden?
She was a tough one. I really, really, really respected the stand-up comedy that she did, and she really talked about middle-class struggles, which I hadn't seen since the days of Norman Lear. And so I was really loving the idea that someone should create a TV show for her, and they did. We did pass on season 1, but then the opportunity came around in season 5 to work on the show, and I'm so glad that we did. Although it was a very difficult writer's room. There were 21 writers, which there's normally maybe 8 to 10. Roseanne and Tom Arnold would bring on all their crazy stand-up comedy friends to come on the staff. She didn't really trust the writers and the producers, so there was a lot of weirdness going on there, but ultimately what she wanted to say with the show I thought was quite unique and brilliant.
Yeah, but oftentimes you're on pins and needles trying to figure out who's getting fired next.
Yes, that's when the infamous number t-shirts came up. So she didn't want to get to know our names, supposedly, so she bought 21 numbered t-shirts and handed them out the first day of work. Think about that. Not intimidating at all, and I didn't quite understand the meaning of it, so I just wanted 13 because my birthday is October 13th, and so I still have that t-shirt and I wear it proudly.
All right. Sitcoms are great for making us laugh, but they go much deeper than that. They oftentimes provide a way for us to deal with tougher topics with a smile, and one of those tougher topics was, the network did not want to let people see a same-sex kiss on the air, and you were able to make that happen.
Yeah, that was kind of history making. It was very odd to write it at work during the day and then come home and see your story on the 11 o'clock news. And ABC did not want to air the episode, but they finally did. Roseanne and Tom Arnold, to their credit, offered to buy the episode back and buy time on HBO to play it, but ABC did air it, and the world didn't end. And I think it was really kind of a baby step towards then the Ellen Show, and then eventually Will and Grace.
So now, what did I do in front of the camera?
Well, when you spotted the videographer, you got suddenly very excited to film your audition tape for America's Next Top Model.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
I thought that was a dream.
it wasn't.
The posing, the strutting, the inappropriate gyrating.
All caught on video and several of Zach's buddies' camera phones.
Why didn't you stop me?
I tried. We all tried, but you were on a mission. You kept saying, "I'm not here to make friends. I want to win."
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go and be nauseous out front for a while.
Excellent.
And then you move to the Gilmore Girls, and
Yes.
everything has its own energy, its own. And speaking of energy, there were so many words spoken so quickly that you all found yourselves just writing like pages and pages and pages of script.
We drank a lot of coffee while the characters drank a lot of coffee. I met Amy Sherman Palladino, who went on to do Mrs. Maisel. She was a writer on Roseanne, and we just kind of fell madly in love with each other and really respected her style of writing and creating art. And then she asked us to be on Gilmore Girls for a year, and I'm so glad I did. I've met so many wonderful people, actors behind the scenes, and then now the fans.
Yeah, you met so many wonderful people, so many wonderful women, but number one, your mom. You wrote about the passing of your mother, who you will never forget was such a supporter of your career since those days when you were in the basement corralling the neighborhood kids to be part of your screenplays.
I was not expecting that to be the last chapter of my book, but life suddenly took that turn, and I decided I am so honest in the book that that had to be, and realizing that she is my one true golden girl, and it was really, really difficult to lose my biggest cheerleader and my best friend.
Well, Stan, let's round out with, oftentimes we can dismiss what TV and comedy does in society, but it's important.
It's so important, especially these times, and to be able to laugh. And my mother did say that I kind of came out of the womb laughing, and that I looked at life through rose-colored glasses. So I think of her as I view the world every single day.
Well, Stan, number 13, thank you for being a friend.
There you go. Bye.
Bye. The Girls from Golden to Gilmore by Stan Zimmerman is available wherever books are sold. And by the way, a little trivia here. Alexis Bledel, who played Rory on the Gilmore Girls, was born in Houston. Her mother suggested she get involved in community theater to overcome her shyness. She was scouted at a local mall by an employee at Page Park's modeling agency, and of course the rest is history.